Mrs. Kramer?
Here.
Mrs. Lane?
Here.
Mrs. Rich?
Here.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Here.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Here.
Mr. Parzak?
Here.
The meeting is now open. Adequate notice of the meeting was provided by posting a copy of the time and place on the municipal clerk's bulletin board and mailing a copy of same to the press and the Cape May County Herald on January 6th, 2018. Will everyone please rise to salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before I get started, I'd just like to let everyone know, if you are here for the public hearing on ordinance 1527, that's including some changes in the utilities ordinance, we're withdrawing that tonight, and it's going to be going back to the Utilities Committee. So if you're here for that public hearing, just for your information, we'll be bringing that forward at a later time. So we're going to start with our GIF presentation.
Thank you.
Hi. All right, Mr. Miola?
Yes.
I'm looking,
Myola, Miola.
okay. Totally confusing. Okay.
I think one of my grandparents.
What are the
came over,
chances?
You know. May I hand these out, please?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for having me on your agenda this afternoon. My name is Paul Myola, and I am the Executive Director of the Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. And I'm here to thank you for your membership in the fund and also to give you an update and let you know how things are going with your joint insurance fund. So if you turn to page 3, you'll see I talk about the success of the JIF. And we like to think that we're the most successful example of interlocal cooperation in New Jersey's history. You know, a joint insurance fund is a pooling of resources of municipalities in usually a county or county and adjacent counties area. And basically, we set out in 1987 to form this joint insurance fund because the insurance companies did not want to insure municipal government. They were raising rates dramatically, dropping coverage on police departments, didn't want to insure various operations, the ambulance squads, things of that nature. And I was very fortunate at the time. I was working with Joe Miola, and Joe and I set out to form the joint insurance fund. Joe did a lot of the legwork. He did a lot of the heavy lifting, gathering information on the various municipalities. And on January 1st, 1987, we formed the joint insurance fund, and we were able to achieve affordable coverage for member towns. We put together superior programs to help prevent claims from occurring. And over time, we've achieved financial stability and strength, much to the dismay of the insurance companies who, once we left, wanted us all back again. As a matter of fact, on a statewide basis, with the 18 joint insurance funds around the state of New Jersey, we've saved New Jersey taxpayers over $1.3 billion since 1987. If you look at page 4, I give you a little more information about our financial strength. As of June 30th, 2018, we've had our 31-year history with currently over $27 million of surplus and almost $50 million of cash on hand. Now, why are those numbers important? Well, you want to know that we've got the financial strength to pay your claims should they occur, and certainly we've been able to demonstrate that we do. Page 5 talks about dividends. What are dividends? This is money that used to be insurance company profits, but because the Joint Insurance Fund is not a profit-making organization, we return every penny that's not spent on claims or operations to our members. And since inception, we've returned almost $34 million to our local members. This past year, we set out a dividend of $3 million, and since Stone Harbor joined the JIF in 1998, you folks have received $278,000 in dividends, including $50,000 just this past year, which is equivalent to about 15% of your annual premiums. If you look at page 6, I talk about some of our most recent success. Because our members are doing such a great job of controlling claims and following their safety programs, our fund actuary has told us we don't have to put as much money in the budget to pay those claims. So in 2015, the loss funding portion of our budget went down by 5.5%, followed by a 4% decrease, and then a 6.5% decrease. And then this year, because our claims history has been so good, we decided to push the insurance layer, which is our reinsurance, back up, take a little more risk in the JIF, which overall cut our budget by 3.2% because we're paying less in premiums for the reinsurance. If you look at your loss ratio on page 7, you'll see that Stone Harbor has a very, very good track record with the Joint Insurance Fund. This is the ratio of your loss funds in your budget to the claims that are incurred by Stone Harbor, and you can see that you're at an excellent average of 41.7%. Now, what does that do for Stone Harbor? Well, if you look at page 8, you'll see that your loss funds in your assessments have gone down by 26% since your last renewal 3 years ago. And if you turn the page and you look at page 9, your overall premiums have gone down about 18% since your last renewal. So it does absolutely pay to work hard to control your claims and follow the JIF safety programs. So page 10, I talk about our overall cost effectiveness. Number one, we have lower overhead. The JIF takes only 12 cents on the dollar to run the entire joint insurance fund, which is a phenomenal expense ratio when you think about the fact that insurance companies take upwards of 30 to 35 cents on the dollar just to operate their insurance companies. Also, we have very strong medical cost control. We use physicians that are dedicated to handling workers' compensation claims, a very strong litigation management program, so the local bar knows that if you're going to take a case against a member of the JIF, you'd better have a good one. Also, our members are all pulling the rope in the same direction as far as our safety and wellness programs, our claims management, and our risk management programs. Most importantly, at the bottom of page 10, you'll see there's no drive for profits. We're not beholden to Wall Street. The JIF is a jointure and it's owned by the member municipalities. Also, because we're a quasi-public agency, we have no tax loading, so we're never taxed on the surplus each year. And no residual market cost means that we don't contribute to the assigned risk plan that insurance companies have to pay into to subsidize that operation. Page 11, I talk about the member involvement. This is really the source of strength of the Joint Insurance Fund. Because each member of the JIF has a representative, we meet on a monthly basis, the members drive those decisions. And at those monthly peer meetings, they're given an opportunity to collaborate, to talk to one another. How are you handling this in your town? We're thinking of doing this over here. How did you handle it? So it really provides built-in networking opportunities and allows for collaboration among the towns. And most importantly, all the towns are committed to safety and risk management. And you'll see page 12, these are the neighbors who are in the JIF with you, and virtually every municipality in Cape May County is a member of the Joint Insurance Fund. Page 13, I talk about the fact that risk management starts at home. It starts right here in Borough Chambers with the mayor, the council, your staff, your administration, and your risk management consultant, Joe Miola. Looking at page 14, I talk about your risk management team. Your safety coordinator, Grant Russ, does a great job serving as a liaison between the safety director and the borough. He chairs your safety committee, coordinates the safety training, makes sure that you're taking advantage of those programs. And also when we give out safety information, whether they're bulletins or training guides, he makes sure that they're distributed. Pat Wagner is your claims coordinator. She maintains your claims forms and your records. She ensures that all claims are reported promptly, and she does an excellent job. We have a one-day turnaround here in Stone Harbor for reporting claims and make sure that she keeps that information flowing between the claims adjusters and the borough. And then Jim Kraft. Jim is your fund commissioner. He's your representative to the JIF. He's there to represent you. He serves on JIF boards and committees, and he makes sure that he's looking out for the Borough of Stone Harbor as far as your membership is concerned. And finally, I mentioned Joe Miola. Joe is a consummate insurance professional. He understands the ins and outs of insurance. As I say, he was really very instrumental in forming the Joint Insurance Fund, and he provides local guidance to you as far as your membership is concerned. So we turn to page 15. I talk about 3 areas that we're really emphasizing to help you manage risks: employment practices liability, cyber liability, and our wellness program. So let me talk about each of those. Your 2018 employment practices liability risk management program, we sent out an updated Personnel Policies and Procedures Manual on May 2nd. I see that's on your agenda this afternoon to adopt the revisions. Every other year, we have a group of attorneys look at the policies to make sure that they're current as far as court decisions are concerned. So by adopting this, you're going to maintain your lower deductibles and co-pays on those claims. We also conducted the managerial and supervisory training that the courts require for your managers and supervisors to show that they understand their obligations and responsibilities, and we did separate training for your police command staff. And finally, we updated a new video that we put out this year in mid-April. It's called We Respect Each Other, and it allows you to offer that training to the rest of your employees here in Stone Harbor. On page 17, I talk about our cyber risk management plan. We know that municipalities are starting to be attacked. It'd be a terrible thing to come in on a Monday morning, find a blue screen, and you know that your system has been shut down and there's a ransom that's been demanded. We have an excellent insurance program that covers that. Joe Miola is very familiar with that, as is your fund commissioner and your claims coordinator. But also what we've done, because that program has a $10,000 deductible, we've given you a chance to lower that deductible to as low as $2,500. In December, we distributed a risk management plan. There's two standards, Tier 1 and Tier 2. Basically, they just require some elbow grease, and by complying with those standards, you'll be able to reduce your deductible to $5,000 for Tier 1 compliance and $7,500 for Tier 2. And I understand that you've been working with your IT people to come in compliance with that program and lower your deductibles on that coverage. Page 18, I talk about the wellness program, and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, this is not health insurance, this is property casualty. Well, yeah, but as far as workers' compensation is concerned, we have learned that healthy employees are less likely to get hurt on the job, and they're likely to recover more quickly. We have a JIF Wellness Director, Valerie Smith. She makes personal visits to all the members. She helps you to establish your wellness committee, helps you to develop wellness activities, and she publishes monthly newsletters. I really like to see Stone Harbor get more involved with the wellness program, and we'll be sending Valerie out shortly to see if we can't get something started here in Stone Harbor, because if you look at page 19, it really pays to adopt the wellness program. Here we're looking at two actual workers' compensation cases, both municipal workers, both 53 years old with a left rotator cuff tear. Now we know doctors will tell you that no two injuries are identical, but we think that this really demonstrates the value of being healthy. The worker on the left is obese and a smoker, was out of work for 20 weeks with this injury. Total cost of that claim, $105,000. Employee on the right, healthy weight, non-smoker, only out of work 8 weeks. Total cost of that claim, about 60%, $61,000. Why? We constantly see when we're looking at our workers' comp claims, we have delayed surgeries because of hypertension, because of smoking, because of various other comorbidities. And it really does lengthen the amount of time that the claim occurs, so we're continuing to pay disability benefits to the employee. And sometimes the surgeries don't have great outcomes when you have an employee with those comorbidities. So our wellness program is really designed to try and educate your employees to the fact that they're going to feel better by following a better diet and quitting smoking and losing weight and so on. And on the back end, it's going to be good for your premium. So it's a win-win situation. So what's coming down the road? Let's look at page 21. We're going to be developing some land use training. We started to see some pretty expensive claims around the state where land use boards perhaps are not making proper decisions as far as people's civil rights are concerned. Perhaps when various people want to come in and build things that are zoned properly, but maybe people are a little nervous about having that type of an operation in their town. So we want to do some training in that, and you'll see that coming out later on this year. And then technology risk management services. We know that municipalities don't always have the budget to train their employees on cyber hygiene. So we recently did an RFP on behalf of the entire Joint Insurance Fund, and we'll be rolling out online training for municipal employees to learn about phishing and other attacks that they may be susceptible to. We're also going to be, with your permission, assessing your network vulnerabilities with some pinging, and with your permission, we'll let you know if there's any vulnerabilities in your network, and also we're going to develop standard policies and procedures for you. So I want to thank you very much for having me out here this afternoon. Inside the back cover, you're going to see some supporting documentation in this folder that gives a little more detail on the joint insurance fund and your participation. Be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I'd just like to say thank you for coming, and especially thanks to Patty Wagner and Jim Crafts and Joe, and then super thanks to Grant, who really leads our program.
He's taking a call.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Miola.
All right, thank you. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Do we have any communications?
No, Mayor.
May I have a motion concerning the minutes?
Madam Mayor, since all members of council have been provided with a copy of the minutes of the work session and the meeting of July 17th, 2018, and the work session and the meeting of August 7th, 2018, if there are no additions or corrections, I move we dispense with the reading of the minutes and that they be approved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll now have public comment. Anyone wishing to address mayor and council may do so at this time by coming forward to the microphone and stating your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, we'll move on. Ordinance 1527, I need a motion to withdraw that ordinance.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 1528.
Next page.
Okay. I thought we were going to go through. I'd like to make a motion that ordinance 1528 be taken up on second reading.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Will the clerk read the title only of ordinance 1528 on second reading?
An ordinance amending Chapter 520, the revised general ordinances, adding a handicap parking space.
The public hearing on ordinance 1528 is open. The public hearing is closed.
I'd like to make a motion that ordinance 1528 be passed on second reading and advanced to third and final reading.
Second?
Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
yes,
Will the clerk read the title only of ordinance 1528 on third and final reading?
An ordinance amending Chapter 520, the revised general ordinances, adding a handicap parking space. This parking space will be for the museum at 94th and 2nd Avenue. That's where it will go.
I move that ordinance number 1528 be passed on third and final reading, adopted and published according to law.
Second?
Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
yes,
Resolution 2018 S-159.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018-S-159 for adoption.
Second.
This resolution authorizes the borough to enter into a contract to purchase a case tractor loader as per the quote attached from Groff Tractor for $68,990.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
yes,
Resolution 2018 S-160.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018 S-160 for adoption.
Second?
This is for Ann Lewis of Houston, Texas, who submitted a rental inspection fee of $50 and a rental registration fee of $100 for property at Sunset, and she has decided not to rent the property.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
yes,
Resolution 2018-161.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018 S-161 for adoption.
Second.
This is the Chapter 159 Wellness Grant of $1,000 from the JIF.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
yes,
Resolution 2018 S-162.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018 S-162 for adoption.
Second.
This is exactly what Mr. Miola mentioned, that we are adopting the revised personnel manual per their recommendations.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S-163.
I offer resolution number 2018-S-163 for adoption.
Second?
This resolution refunds Mr. Robert Parisi $20 and Mr. James Ozone $8 for recreation fees.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S-164.
Mayor and council, I offer Resolution 2018-S-164 for adoption.
Second.
This resolution places an additional $2,500 onto the professional services contract of Jeff Shurnian, who's an attorney that works on our affordable housing issues.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Yep.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S-165.
I'd like to offer 2018 S-165 for adoption.
Second?
This is authorizing a reimbursement for a footing and a foundation permit for, I think it's Don Minor, DL Minor.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S-166.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018 S-166 for adoption.
Second.
This is authorizing the mayor to sign a letter of support for a group who is, an environmental group, I'm sorry, who is submitting this to the governor in order to have more electric vehicles, whether they be buses and whatever, and do what Go Green has done in this town, have more available stations to charge electric vehicles.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S-167.
Madam Mayor, I offer Resolution 2018 S-167 for adoption.
Second.
This is an interlocal with the Stone Harbor School Board for a van that they are using now that they'll purchase gas from us and reimburse us for the gas. They have not had a van previous to this.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S-168.
Mayor and council, I offer Resolution 2018-S-168 for adoption.
Second.
Second.
This resolution authorizes the issuance of a club license to 222 81st Street LLC, which is the Union League Bungalow.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
Resolution 2018 S-169.
I'd like to offer 2018 S-169 for adoption.
Second?
This is a resolution, you want to say anything? I'll just read what I have.
Just read that.
I'll read what I have. This is to change the date. The permits shall be issued for the season for beach vehicles, which will run from October 1st through March 15th, inclusive for the beachfront from 122nd Street North, and from October 1st to March 15th for the beachfront and point area from 122nd Street South.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Gallagher?
Yes.
Mr. Kraftcheck?
Yes.
Mr. Parzak?
Yes.
I need a motion for the following special events: the Merchant Sidewalk Sale, August 25th, Pickleball Clinics, August 29th and 30th, Getting Gear Bike Stroll, September 8th, and the Nuns Beach Surf, September 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion for the solicitor, borough engineer, and borough administrator to arrange a meeting with state agencies to discuss issues pertinent to the contractual matter discussed in closed session.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Do you want to roll call? We're good. May I have a motion approving the bill list?
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the bill list and authorize the CFO to pay the bills when the funds are available and the vouchers are properly endorsed.
Second.
We'll now have the second public comment. Anyone wishing to address mayor and council may do so at this time by coming forward to...
Motion. We didn't pass the motion. I made a motion to approve the bill list. We didn't,
Oh, did we get a second?
Second.
Ray said.
yeah.
Somebody,
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay.
No, I have second public comment. Anyone wishing to address mayor and council may do so at this time by coming forward to the microphone and stating your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, I'll close public comment. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Or adjourned?